And we're live with the next episode of the Waiting Room Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Rush, with our usual contributors, Asmal Uner, Brendan De Cruz, and Fabian Mark Peter. And today we've got Dasha Logan as our guest.
Dasha Logan!
Who seems to be going on somewhat of a stroke at this moment in time. We'll see how she goes. Welcome, Dasha.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, usually we usually start our guests off with their musical journey, how they start off in music. But at the moment, you're in the midst of recording your debut album, so probably it'd be a good idea to start off talking about that, since it's the latest thing going on at the moment, since no one's got any bloody live gigs.
Yeah, that is true. But I started recording this album. What year is it? 2020. So I guess middle of 2019 we started getting stuff moving, and in December 2019 is when we started properly laying down the tracks. And I was just thinking today that 2020 should be pushed. Like this year should be cancelled, and next year should be 2020.
Yeah, I think
Why? Nice for 2020. Okay, why?
Because we've been waiting for wawasan 2020 since I was in like standard 1, right? And talking about flying cars or some nonsense like that. So wawasan
this is it, man. Get your money back. Do you keep the receipt or not? Get your money back.
For the textbook.
Yeah.
So 30 days past release. So
we were supposed to get flying
30
cars
years
in
back.
2015. Back to the Future lied to us. 2015 we were supposed to have flying cars by. Never mind, 2020. It's disgusting.
Dasha, who are you recording with?
So I'm working with Rozan Rahman.
Okay.
Back up the real music play space.
Yeah, every room music at play space. And it's interesting because I met Rozan properly in beginning 2019. As I've met him before, but I never really spoke to him properly. So the story begins in 2018, one late night session in a weird hostel in Damansara Uptown, where I met.
This is a dodgy story. My God, don't say
Damansara
the
Uptown.
That's where good music comes from,
money.
man. Good music comes from dodgy places, man.
Was this a pay-as-you-go hostel?
It's I kind of, it was something like you can either pay or you can work there and then pay that way. I wasn't staying there, but for some reason this venue had a karaoke thing. I don't even know who took me there, but I went there.
This story is getting dodgier and dodgier.
It was
I like it. Yeah.
It was after an Alexis jam session, and everybody's like, "Hey, let's go to this other place." So it was me and a few other people, and we went there, and we continued karaoke. And then I wanted to go supper last. So I went for supper with John Thomas, and we were talking about Good Vibes Festival.
Yeah.
And how I was like, I would love to do Good Vibes. And John is like, you need original music. And I said, I have 1 or 2 songs out there. He said, that's not enough. Then he just went, Rozan's coming back lah. You talk to him lah. Okay. So I messaged Rozan, and Rozan was very, very nice. He said, okay, I'm coming back to Malaysia, so why don't we meet and see what you want to do lah. So at this point, I had no idea what a producer does in an album. So I was like, I don't even know what your role is in this whole thing. But now I know. Now I'm smarter. And then this is the album cover lah. Eventually, tan tan tan.
Nice. Got a cover this.
And the
That's
album,
the first-
and the
Is that
album's
the
gonna be
first look
called.
we are getting?
So right now it doesn't have a name, so I was just gonna leave it as a Dasha Logan debut album, so just Dasha Logan. But I'm still playing with the idea of giving it a name. So I guess that will be a big reveal. Either they'll have no name or Dasha Logan.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So how many
Is there
songs?
a theme?
Go with the flow, yeah.
So there's no theme, but I realized from after writing all the songs, I don't have any love songs because I have no experience in the matter.
Oh, that's another episode already.
That's for the second
Another
half.
album.
That's for the
That's
second
another
half of the
album.
podcast.
That's the next album.
Well, to get those stories, it would have to be another Damansara Uptown session at 4 o'clock in the morning. But no, the songs are all mostly, let's see, there's a song about realizing you like somebody because you feel jealous. They're like, oh, actually I'm jealous. Why? Oh, actually I like the fella. So that's one song. and then it's another song about you playing the field and then you catch feelings. Then there's another song. Yeah.
It's all love songs lah.
Yeah,
That
they're
sounds
all
like
love
love
songs.
All,
How
basically,
are they
it's
not
all
love
Get out of
songs?
here. You know about love, man.
Hey, no,
It's like
like
anti-love song. It's like
love of
lost
They are
love.
all.
That's the best part of love is at that moment. After
Yeah.
that, it's all downhill.
Yeah.
So it's, okay, let's just say there are no Shania Twain wedding songs.
No, you just-
There's nothing that Ed Sheeran want to be part of.
Shania
You-
Twain, Allah, she's
You
lame.
just
yeah.
you just described every single '80s soft metal rock band's love songs.
Exactly,
That's what
man,
they are. All
exactly.
those
Yeah.
are all those type of songs. Look at any Guns N' Roses video from that. Their kind of love
Exactly.
songs, and it's jealousy. It's jealousy
Yeah.
over something.
There's no walking down the aisle kind of love song, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're,
It's none of
they're
that.
breaking up a
Accidentally
wedding kind
written
of
a love-
song. lah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I went down that road lah.
All right.
So that's
So,
what it's
and,
only 7 songs, so it was.
Well, 7 songs is fine. That's good. It's a
Yeah.
good
Cool,
start.
cool.
How involved are you in the songwriting?
I wrote all the songs. So let's say out of 7 songs, 2 songs I co-wrote. One with Marcus Young, and one with
Shout out to
Dave
Marcus.
Tabari.
And shout out
Yes,
to Dave.
yes. Yes,
Who's the second one?
Dave Tabari, the guitarist Dave.
You know him as David Kaczynski.
Oh, Dave.
Oh yeah,
Dave.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kid Skinnicky.
Sorry.
So,
Yeah. Thanks Facebook,
Kid-
thanks
Kid-
Instagram. Yeah.
so Dave would come
Sharon's
over.
Dave, as we know him.
Sharon's Dave, and and MPO Marcus, and
Q Sound.
so yeah, Q Sound. So with Dave, he came over one day to my place. I was like, let's just write songs. So he had this idea. He played a couple of lines, and then I kind of just kidnapped the song and wrote different lyrics and asked him to go in different direction. But he came up with this song, which turned out to be super like Someone Like You or like us, Adele kind of feel. So I was in studio yesterday trying to get the vocals down for that. It was the 3rd time in studio trying to get the vocals down for that. And it because it's so simple, it's maybe just piano vocals.
Yeah.
And because it's the simpler the song, if the piano is strong, then the vocals will be strong. So I had to keep singing this song, which while performing, I'm like, why did I write this song so difficult? Why is it in such a high key? Why didn't I write it simpler?
But they're the good ones. They're the good ones.
All you need put is a capo, then you can get the right key.
The capo on the
cheat.
piano.
That's how we cheat.
Up on the piano. Oh, that's
Capo on the piano one time like that.
Capo, got big one, got one, got seven. But do you have any
Press
routines?
button.
Do you have any routines like when you're recording? Do you notice was there
Oh.
any like routines that emerged? Maybe you never planned it, but you start realizing that's always interesting.
So what was interesting yesterday? No, we haven't had a routine yet, but yesterday something interesting happened. I got there and okay lah, I know this sounds a bit strange, but everything was so tight. Like my baju was too tight. Everything was like, I was like, oh, I cannot sing with this. It's so tight. I told Rosa, I was like, bro, just don't come to this area because but this very tight baju might have to come off. And he's like, do what you gotta do. Just
Yep,
pre-warn me so I don't come by. So I was wearing sports bra lah, so kelana, so PG, so PG
alright.
13.5. So it was interesting because I've never had that feeling before. Because performing live, it's so like, if baju ketat, you're too tight and then you try and sing anyway. If it doesn't come through, then it's over and done with. Too bad lah, move on. But in this case, it's like, no, I know I can do better. I know I can do better. So
Well, that's because you're giving it to the song. You're giving the song the respect it deserves. That's good.
I mean, it's get it done the best you can, and then
Yeah.
the recording's done, right? So
Yeah.
The song was speaking to you. I think the song saying, "Hey, this is too tight."
yeah, it's like, can you
But
please not try and look cool for recording? Please wear your pajamas.
True. Yeah, gotta be comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
understood.
usually I'm super comfortable, and I was wearing track pants, like nothing. But the tali, maybe it's because I didn't just have lunch. I had lunch 2 hours before, but still like, not digested yet. Every take, I'm like, I need to pee. I need to go bathroom. Sorry, I need to go bathroom. Like, I need to make space. So it's interesting, like the process.
It
is
was your
quite
mind.
cool.
It was your mind fucking with you because you know that the song needed something special. So like you were just trying to get your mind was just trying to get you into a perfect zone. So
Yeah, and my body as
everything was
well.
annoying you. Like
Yeah, I was like, I mean, basically when I record, everything comes off. So the ring comes off, the watch comes off, the necklace comes off, and halfway through my earrings come off and my hair goes into weird. Who knows anything? I don't even know what's going on. It just needs that. And
It's a transformative, process, man.
yeah,
Isn't it?
like
Recording in a
you just become.
studio requires a certain level of comfort that
yeah, it's sometimes like lying down on the floor, and then the amount of times I hit my head on the mic, I'm like doop 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 doop.
And record that, keep that as a bonus track. Yeah.
Rosa's like, just take a step back. Don't worry about it. So it's interesting because it's so different from a live show. So so yesterday's song, that is the third time trying to get the voice to work lah. First time I recorded it, it sounded like I had the worst nose block in the world. Second time, I went in way too like my voice was like that. He's like, what is his voice?
while I was like, what happened to my audio?
He's like, your voice sounded completely different. Suddenly I sing like this. It's like, so can you just bring your... Then there's so many words now. He's like, use your this voice, use your this voice, use your this voice. It's like, okay, I'll use my left shoulder voice. Like, so all that. Finally, we got it right.
At least you got the respect and confidence in Roseanne. They allow him to say to you, what the hell's going on with your voice? Rather than just going, I'll just record her and then try and sort it out afterwards. Like,
None of that.
Producer needs to have that responsibility, right?
Yeah,
to say as it is,
and because we're friends, he can...
Can say in your face.
So I'll be recording somewhere, the song halfway, and then I'll mess up and I'll be like, and he'd be like, what was that? And like, I don't know, something, my voice went, whoa. But the song is called, so far, it's called Hopeless Romantic.
obviously not a love
Title,
song. Definitely not a love
title,
song.
Most definitely, man.
It's not
Most definitely not a love song.
That's what I like about the song, is that it sounds like, oh, you're a hopeless romantic, but the whole theme, the reason why it's called hopeless romantic is because it's a breakup song. The whole album's a breakup song, and the line "hopeless romantics" comes from the sentence, "Another hopeless romantic song to break my heart into." So instead of naming it "hopeless romantic songs," it's called "hopeless romantic" to throw people off, because I'm cool like that, like, oh, it's not really about that, blah blah blah. But I felt like, sure, it's like saving on my love for you, you know, like, oh, can you sing that at my wedding?
That's what you
Like,
should
that's not, is it?
That's not love song.
I will always love you. Like, I love that song. It's like, yes, it's about I want to break up with you, but I will always love you. Sure, I'll sing that at your wedding if you want.
There, you got the name of the album right there. Definitely not love songs.
There you go, man.
Just
Yeah.
there already. Just definitely not, Dasha Logan. Definitely not love songs.
Definitely not love songs.
Or just
The
not
only
love
reason
song.
Don't want lah. Then everybody who's like in a relationship, oh yeah, don't listen lah, so don't listen, don't want lah. So never mind. But for that song, I felt my vocal cords stretched to its maximum lah. So
What
I had
key
to
is it
tell
in?
Roseanne.
A high one.
House key. How,
Like,
It's a high one.
yeah, house
Yes.
key.
Down the right side of the piano, somewhere there.
somewhere up there. But it's not the
Somewhere
key, it's
there.
so Roseanne will be like, you take one breath and I want you to continue from this sentence to the middle of the next sentence.
Okay, yeah. So he's trying to get the emotion out of you.
Yeah.
For each
And
part,
it's all a push. The whole song is a push. Like, if I'm not gonna sing it like that, I'm gonna sing it like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, think Barbara, think Adele, don't think Taylor Swift. And don't just
All
one song, you
from,
gotta push it.
all from the diaphragm. This song. It's all from
It's
the
it-
diaphragm.
The warm-ups, all my warm-ups and everything just like felt inadequate for this song. So I'm excited about the song.
Dasha is probably one of two only vocalists that I work with or know who actually does vocal warm-ups prior to every single gig.
Can you share
Every
what some warm ups you do?
Oh, like
Yeah.
This is a half an hour warm up. She does like,
okay.
like it's very very dedicated. Like she does it.
Okay.
And
Give us one example. Yeah.
So the warm-ups is so dedicated that my musicians can sing it along with
We all
me.
know it. Like when you do
Yeah.
it with Dasha, we all know the warm ups.
Wow.
So I mean, it's a simple like the lip thrill, the stuff, and then there's like bia 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 bia, which
Well
goes on
done.
for a while,
Oh,
and then there's the
okay.
breath control warm up. Then I will go like Me, me, mommy, 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 me, mommy, 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 me, mommy, 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 me. Here we go. And then
Wow.
just keep changing keys. And it just becomes a habit lah. So memorize it, do makeup like me, mommy, 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 mommy. Watch your posture.
But it's good. Yeah. Straighten up your
Ah,
posture.
so that's a ritual also. Yeah, that's also
That's
that's
definitely
one
a
ritual
ritual.
you got.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Definitely
ritual.
Well, my ritual for a show, it's
Different.
no meals before a show,
Oh.
which is horrible for my habits of drinking during and after
Yeah.
the show. So no food drinking, nothing. So it's no meals, no ice cubes. So everything is warm. So hot coffee, warm water, which means
Wow.
all the drinks I consume, alcoholic content wise, all warm. So whiskey neat, wine,
All right.
shots, nothing safe or smart. So no
All right.
cocktails, no beer, no mixers. I really shouldn't be drinking now.
You're really warm lah. When you go on stage, you're really warm. Also,
warm and
everything,
warm.
everything's just ready to go lah.
Warm. Head voice, chest voice, all warm.
all warm.
What do you want? Do you want me to sound like Britney Spears or do you want me to sound like Alanis Morissette? Both again. What do you choose? Which one you want?
Wow.
Yeah,
Just
it's not
radiate.
okay.
You just radiate.
So which other musicians have you got playing on the album?
Well, we kept the set bands. We had the set band of Omar on drums, Ejeng on keys, Dave on guitar, and bass, and Roseanne played some bass as well.
Yep, cool.
And we also, for some songs, we have John Thomas, we have Jamie Wilson, we have some vocal guests as well. We've got Roz and Puva, and maybe a friend of mine from Australia named Mark Turner. And we have Marcus Leong, I think, the guitarist, young guy.
Yeah, Marcus, yeah.
And we are trying to get in a percussionist. We haven't decided which one yet. And then a horn section.
Okay.
So we're still getting that.
Q sound starting at the horn section, I take it.
Well, Q Sound, yes, he is supposed to come in and play. But let's just see lah. Maybe one day I wake up and be like, don't want, Marcus. Sorry, Marcus, of course, I'd love for you to play the album. And if you've already played for it, thank you.
When's your tentative release?
So tentatively, what month is August? So October, we should be able to release the first single, which is going to be a song called Over You. Of course, a love song. Of
Not a love
course.
song. Definitely
People
not a
gonna be
love song.
walking down the aisle with that song. I'm getting over you.
Oh,
Walking over you, yeah, walking over you on the aisle.
Yeah. So Derek's heard the song. I don't think it's online yet. There isn't a live version of that either. So Over You will be the first single out in October, and then maybe 2 weeks later we'll release the second single, which is probably going to be Hopeless Romantic.
cool.
But the whole album will be out in November.
Are you planning physical copies, or are you just going to do everything digitally?
I will have some physical copies, or not too many, because a couple of years ago I realized that my friend was having this little house clean Marie Kondo thing going on, and she had a whole stack of CDs,
Yeah.
and she just said, "Chuck it, throw it away." I'm like,
Alamak.
what about
Alamak.
you know?
Alamak.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
terasa,
oh,
weh.
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
No
so
one
if
has
I do
any-
make,
no one has emotional attachments to CDs. No one would do
I
that with
know.
records.
Hey, dude, I've got emotional attachment to CDs. man.
Yeah, I
don't
do,
know
man.
CDs.
Yeah,
Yeah, Derek,
man.
you don't simply
Yeah.
say, Derek.
Yeah, Daddy, come on, man. Hey.
Simply
I only
no
got
emotional
CDs. I don't have vinyls, man. I can't afford
Guys,
vinyls.
cars
Yeah,
don't
I
come
can't
with CD
afford
players anymore.
Seemingly, I touched the nerve there.
But really, cars don't come with CD players anymore unless
No,
they're
they
like the
don't.
really high-end cars.
No, it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, nobody buys. Very few people buy CDs.
Right. So if I do make physical print, I want to make sure they're really good quality, really nice ones that people would pay a little bit extra to buy for whatever
Have to
sentimental value, whatever,
Yeah.
so that it's like to keep.
It's a collector. Like,
Like,
Yeah.
Might be a
Yeah.
better idea just to do a run of actual vinyl rather than CDs, since no one.
I would love to. If
yeah.
you guys know where to get vinyls done, please let me know. I want to
Yeah,
make
I'm sure
some vinyl.
yeah, talking about
Vinyls
vinyls,
can
right?
be
I
fun.
think
Tantang
crap,
lah.
that couple,
Oh,
the band Couple, they came up with
Oh,
some
Couple,
really
yeah.
cool
Yeah,
vinyls
yeah.
recently. You know, they had like the black one, and then they also had the pink one. and I know.
But there was a reissue of the classic album. Though.
Correct,
So that's the
correct.
thing. So you gotta make
Yeah.
it desirable. I think that's a tricky thing. Make the design or something macam tu lah.
Yeah.
Different colors, different flavor.
Yeah.
Maybe you can
That's
eat the
different.
vinyl or something, lick it and then,
Ah,
I don't know. I don't know.
I can make also
There's
like
all these gimmicks, right?
chocolate.
There's all these gimmicks. So yeah. But you gotta think about it lah. I think you still need something macam like that.
Yeah.
Because make it special.
Yeah, because
Very
I
few.
think, I think if you're not going to, if you're only releasing CDs for the sake of it being a special thing,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
vinyl
Yeah.
will be a better way to go. Because no one's going to have CD players at home anyway. No one's going to have vinyl, but they'll buy.
there's no way there are more vinyl players than CD players.
I'm not
now,
saying
man.
that. I'm saying that. I'm saying.
Computers got no.
They would only
it's a
buy it because
conspiracy.
it looks good, lah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's a conspiracy, man.
Yeah.
Computers don't have a disc player, man. They're all in this, man. They're making money from vinyl,
Yeah.
bastards. Yeah.
planned obsolescence, guys. It's called planned obsolescence.
So
Cool.
their vinyls, I want to just know where I can make them.
Yeah.
Then I want to, because I want to do the whole, frame the album cover vinyl,
Oh,
and
the
then
platinum
shit.
one.
And then like give it to myself, like you have gone, you sold one to yourself.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right.
That's a limited edition, like it comes in a
Limited
frame,
edition.
like the whole thing,
And then a picture of me inside, like
How-
thank
how did-
you.
How did you find
Just
this?
receiving
How
it
did you
from a
find this
hand.
process of doing your own album in comparison to the previous stuff that you did with the guys back in London? Which I
Very
don't know.
different.
I don't know what the process was there. Was that just your lyrics in their song, or was it their whole song and you just sung over it, or what was the scenario with that?
So with that whole situation, it was they gave me a couple of tracks, and then I just started writing lyrics over them and see what happens, see if they liked it or not.
Yeah.
It was so quick because I would meet them in the studio and be like, okay, so I have this idea, let me sing it for you, and I sang it, and they're like, okay, let's just record this, lay this down. And
Okay.
it all was just in a day from the time you heard it until we were done. And what you hear, that's all done in a day. So there was no like let's go back and see if there's anything else we can do with it. It's like, okay, this is done, it's done. Next song, because there's so many things happening that there's no time to really take the time to think about every detail.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it was done very quickly. There wasn't a re-record. There wasn't like a chance for me to be like, I don't like this word. It's not like, okay, it's done. Sorry, go back to Malaysia, get done.
Oh.
And then
Sometimes
it was
it's good,
done.
Yeah.
So when Cleverly did so well, I was like, wow, I did not know this was going to happen. So that was quite a nice surprise. Whereas in this case, it's a much longer process because it was so much more my hand in it. I'm not the best pianist, but from writing it in the most basic sense, sending it to Ejing and going like, what do you think? What more can you do with this? And he putting in his flavor into it. Then adding in another, like lyrically. So it's like really from start to end, I had a lot more hands-on experience in this. Roseanne is great because for everything, even if I'm not involved in the recording and it's getting like Jamie Wilson coming in, I had nothing to do with it. I still went there, I still sat down, I was, bobbing along, being asked like, what do you think? Because I really appreciated being involved and being included with all the decisions.
True, yeah.
So
well, it is your song. Well, you're gonna have to like the parts on it because it's your name's literally on it, like so.
Is it? Are you self-financing this on your own, or
say that again, sorry?
are you self-financing the album?
Yes.
So you got control lah.
I mean, as much control as I want lah. So
sometimes you gotta let go a bit.
yeah. So I raised some funds on a crowdfunding. I raised some funds last year, and then the rest has been from donations and also from my own. So I work and then I pay lah as I go. And then what's great is that a lot of the musicians also just jumped in for fun. It's like, yeah, sure, just whatever.
It's good
happy
having
to play.
friends. It's good having
Yeah, it's good having
It's good having very
friends
talented
are friends.
musician friends, recording engineer friends. Thanks, Derek.
Yes. But there's a lot of tit for tat. So like I would record on their album, they record my album.
Yeah.
It makes it easier that way, right? So it's, I mean, every time after they come to studio and leave, I'm like so touched, like, oh, thank you so much. It's like, are you gonna pay them? It's like, yeah, but still thank you so much. It's so nice.
Cool. Nice.
You said, do you have a day job?
No.
No, okay.
Not at this point lah. But it's looking more and more. appealing right now. I'm like, yes,
But
I
that's
love to
good.
babysit.
Good
Really?
thing that you. Oh,
I mean, I like before I was singing. Well, before I was singing full time, I was babysitting. So I like to do all the kind of stuff lah. I like to teach children and
Yeah, it's
jaga
noble.
anak-anak.
Yeah. It's valid, man. Important.
I was I have been a waitress. I have in Penang. I have cleaned houses in London, so I have no problem doing anything. The only term is that I don't have to interact with too many people because cannot be bothered. And like for me to go like, hi, so marketing and etc. I don't think I'll be very good at it. I'm more like,
So-
can I put my earphones in and then not be bothered?
Ignorance,
Okay.
yeah.
Actually, the COVID world is perfect. No, you can't be close to
COVID.
anybody. The world, we stay away from people.
It's
Yeah.
like, give me a whole give me a physical book and you need me to type out the whole thing. I'm like, sure. You might find some Adele lyrics in the book somehow, somewhere, but
And the aim
simply
for
just
this
write a song instead.
the aim for this album is to get your music out, and then hopefully next year in 2021 get on some of the bigger festivals in Malaysia.
yes,
Yeah.
Cool.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
And also just because for the longest time people have been asking, "What's your sound?" And I have no idea what my sound is. Also because a lot
Or
of
you
people
had
are
your
like,
friends, your friends telling you to get some fucking music fucking recorded.
some of my friends, some of my music engineer friends have been like, no, I
Right
mean
lah.
it's more like some lah. I won't say who.
Me?
Because what?
What? You?
I think like a couple of years ago, somebody's like, "You're a jazz singer, right?" I said, I enjoy singing jazz. I wouldn't say I'm a jazz singer exclusively. I like singing jazz. Like, so what is your style? So I don't know. What day is it? Like today I might be
Yeah.
more Amy Winehouse, but tomorrow I might be a bit more. I might be digging the John Mayer, Katy Perry sound. Like I might want to see like raw and like girl power and whatever's out there.
Or some
And then
James
one day I
Hetfield.
might, yes, sure. And then one day I might like be listening to Eminem's full album and trying to memorize all lyrics. And one day I might be listening to Hamilton and trying to memorize all lyrics. So I'm like, I don't know, what day is it? It changes. So
Is
this
there
album,
any
what?
is
Any
there
rap
any
in my album?
rap in your album? No.
No lah, not this one. But I've been like next one lah. Next album hopefully will have a duet and a bit more collaborations and hopefully one love song, like, at least one. So my wall, I'll show you my wall. I cannot show you my wall. My wall is my computer is stuck to everything. But my wall,
Your
Too many
computer is
connections.
stuck to your wall.
no, it's connected
Oh.
to too many plugs.
Oh,
Cannot turn. But my wall has all these post-its, and it has like all these like little like reminders and yeah, not inspiring lah. More like write a duet and then title "Stupid Love" or use this sentence in a song. Somewhere here, I have written. Where is it? Where
You
is
said
it?
it somewhere. So what? We are
Yeah.
looking at about what? 50 or
No.
60 post-its.
About
Wow.
60 lah. Here. I show you what it says. It
It's a
says
war
this.
room, huh?
Is
Wow,
it backwards?
No, it's fine.
No,
it's fine.
It's fine.
You need to write a love song.
Yeah.
But you,
Ah,
you
you need
have
to write love song.
7
Because
coming up.
these definitely are not love songs. Remember that, folks? Definitely not.
Oh
love
yeah,
That's
forgot that.
another
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Definitely
So
not.
you need to write like
Fun.
a love song for people in love, like I want to marry you and I want you to have my babies, kind of thing. So that I
Okay,
can sing that at weddings lah.
that's probably a good spot to end the first half of the show. So the second half, we'll discuss your musical journey, how you got started, obviously your father's band and things like that. We'll take you through that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so-
gonna ask all those questions in a bit. All the Penang questions.
Oh, the
gonna come
Penang
on.
head has to jump in with all those questions.
Usually
Okay,
the
guys.
second half of
We'll-
the show just belongs to Fabian. lah.
Yeah, we'll see you in the second
Nonsense.
Yeah.
half. Nonsense, lad. Come on, lads.
Okay, see you guys back.
We'll see you in about a half an hour, guys. Okay. And we're back for the second half of our Dasha Logan episode. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us back. So the first half, we were talking about Dasha's recording process of her debut album. Yay!
Yay!
So I think in this half we might we'll get into your musical journey, how you got into this. I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people a lot of people sort of guess how you got into music. Anyways, it's kind of plainly obvious. But like, why did you Let us know.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
So, okay. So I was born the 17th of December, 1987. It was a crisp morning. I don't know. But no, so I basically just quite born into being surrounded by musicians. I had no idea what anything other than that was like. So whenever my dad was performing, if we were on school holiday, we'd be there. Or if he was in Penang, then we'd be there. So grew up listening to a lot of Alley Cat stuff and also a lot of the stuff that they perform. So that was what Deep Purple and Pink Floyd and Michael Jackson. And for some reason, eventually Ronan Keating. I just remember that for some reason.
Roland Keating.
As my father did sing, "Life is a roller coaster, just gotta ride it."
That's not even a Roland Keating song.
Why?
Roland Keating never wrote a
All
song.
No, he didn't
all
write that
Ronan
song. Of
Keating
course
songs,
not.
life is
I
a roller
do.
Roland Keating never wrote any songs. He has never written a song.
I don't even think that was an original Ronan Keating song. I think that was like
Yeah, it's a cover.
No,
cover
boys,
yeah.
boys own. All they did was covers. All Roland Keating never has done is covers. As far as I'm aware, he's never written a song. You can correct me on that, but I don't think Roland Keating has ever written a song.
so. Grew up listening to a lot of that, and then was obviously influenced by the whole Britney Spears time and 911 and Backstreet Boys. While my brother was listening to Foo Fighters, Nirvana, and Silverchair in the other room, so sometimes I'd be
Alright.
listening to that.
Yeah.
And also sometimes listening to System of a Down or whatever was playing on the other side of the house. And then my mom would be listening to radio, so it'd be those Google days. So it's kind of growing up listening to all sorts of stuff. That when Linkin Park came out and all the girls were like, "Oh my god, I listened to Linkin Park, I'm so cool." Like, okay, let's just move on from that. Like, girls, you like impress the guys with that and you're shuffling. I'm going to be doing whatever else lah. So just listening to all sorts of stuff and singing and just knowing since I was young that I liked to sing because Disney lah. I've always wanted to be a Disney princess. So that was my calling lah. Sound of Music, Cinderella, whatever. And then in school, the teachers automatically assumed you Alley Cat daughter, that means 100% you like to sing,
Alley
right?
Cat daughter.
Not Logan's daughter, you Alley Cat daughter. So I belong to the whole band. So in school, they just threw me in the choir, lah, whether I liked it or not. So
Oh, shit. Aiyo.
excuse me, same thing happened to my brother. My brother was also like, you Alley Cat son, you must be a singer.
Can he sing?
I think he can. I think he knows how to, but
Okay.
he doesn't have the confidence to just sing it properly.
Okay.
So a lot of
Okay.
I realize a lot of people when they are not confident enough, they start to sing jokey. My
Yeah,
brother
I
sings jokey. So I like
How old were you,
Ah.
Dasha, when you first started, like, your first proper performance?
I was in kindergarten lah, because I was Alley Cat daughter then also. So it was one of those kindergarten shows. Yeah, it's like we need to sing. She must be able to sing. Okay. So like if you're a politician's child, you will become the class monitor. You must know how to lead the class. You're gonna make the monitor. So yeah, kindergarten I started singing, and then just didn't stop lah. So sang in school a lot, and I joined a singing competition when I was in Form 2 in
Okay.
Butterworth. Okay.
Ah, that's my place there. Okay.
Butterworth lah, seberang. Okay. So whole family came. Whole family went to Butterworth to meet the Mega Mall.
Oh my
And
god.
that time Coyote Ugly just came out, so I sang Can't Fight the Moonlight as my audition song. And the judges had this gift lah, like if they want you to go to the next round, they ask you a question like, what is your favorite song? Then you know you're going to the next round. So I sang Can't Fight the Moonlight, and I sang and I looked up and I saw all the people looking down, and I got this massive punch of stage fright. So when I came off the stage, I was so scared, and the prospect of, and I made it to the next round. Like Shasmi was my favorite song.
Yeah.
So I was so scared that the next round was going to be in KL. So in my head, I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to have to move to KL. I'm going to have to leave my friends. I'm going to have to sing in public. I have to sign with KRU. I was worrying about all these things I didn't have to worry about. So I took myself out of the competition lah.
Full on
Yeah,
panic attack.
Full on. I didn't know it was a
Wow.
panic attack. Excuse me. At the
Wow.
time, I just thought I don't want.
Yeah, that's a
So I
full-on panic
stopped
attack.
singing. So I stopped singing
Yeah.
till I was 16. So it took a couple of years. And then Hits FM was, that time it was Hits FM, not yet Hits.fm. So
Yeah.
Little Kev and the Fly Guy were the hosts still. So they were in Penang for a talent search in this mall called Gurney Plaza. And then there was this guy who could juggle, this girl who did ribbon dance, gymnastic, don't know what, all sorts of things happened. And I remember I had sports day that day. So I was awake early on a Saturday. Then my mother said, let's go to Gurney Plaza for fun. We went there, and I was having lunch, and my mom snuck to the back of they were in the center court of Gurney Plaza, and she signed me up to sing without telling me, without checking with me if I wanted to do it or not. It was like, you do or die, lah, girl, whatever. So I was eating and I heard my name. Alex, our last contestant. We have a Dasha in the house. Dasha, where are you? And I'm on like the third floor on the, like, why are they calling my name?
Oh.
So I rushed down to the stage and said, so you've been signed up by your mom? I was so shy, lah, like, okay. So what song are you going to sing? So Christina Aguilera's Beautiful had just come out. It was on radio all the time. So I guess I'll sing that lah. So my schoolmates were there, and so they were very supportive. So I sang, and I won, and the prize was 1,000 ringgit worth of Wrigley's chewing gum.
What?
Serious?
What?
Chewing gum. Wow, how much is 1,000 bucks?
You know who our potential
Oh.
sponsor for this episode is, lah.
So how much is Wrigley 1,000 bucks worth? Was it
Not
a
much
truck?
lah.
You
No,
must
like
have
one
some left.
paper bag fill lah. There was one paper bag full of chewing gum, and then there was some cash prize lah.
Still be getting it.
So that was interesting. And my father had to go pick it up for me because he was in KL. So he went to Bukit Jalil and was like, my daughter got chewing gum. He's like, and a check, and a check. So like,
Okay.
so that got the confidence a bit in there lah. So I was 16 at the time, and then so my mom helped me get back on stage again. And then my brother met this woman named Penny, and she was opening a Brazilian restaurant in Penang called Brazil 68. So Penny said, your sister sings, does she want to audition? My brother said, my sister does sing, and I'm sure she would love to audition, or she would love to have this job. But this is when I was in Form 5, and I was supposed to go for national service. Yes. I went for Hikmat Negara.
Not the army.
Wow.
Sure, yeah, the army, sure. I went for the army. We
told
didn't
you
get to
about
touch
this, Derek.
guns, but we got water balloons. That was our guns. We threw water
Wow.
balloons at each other. Yes, that's what I'll be doing, like, in case the country
we
ever
got
goes to war. And so after national service, I came back and I went to college. No, I went to Form 6, and then I started to sing lah. So my first job, I'll never forget that day, because it was the weirdest combination of stage fright and having way too much confidence. So with a girl on a MIDI keyboard, so you know, like
Cool.
and the place was packed, and I didn't have any like nice baju, so she went to take me to buy some nice performance clothes. I used to wear the weirdest things lah. Derek, you would have laughed at me. Like, I don't even want to say, but it's just weird lah.
No, you
So-
can't.
Derek-
you can't.
Derek
No,
will
you,
just
no,
laugh
you
at
have to
every
say.
damn thing, yeah.
No, you have to say what did you
Yeah.
wear?
Yeah.
So, just I
Sample.
don't even. Is it like I'm gonna just say it's like hooker boots, like just black up to
Like
here,
12
like
yeah.
leather
Oh,
with
they're-
like diamond,
Yeah, they're-
diamond
Full on, hooker boot there.
Man.
Full on hooker.
and then like fishnet stockings, but
What age were you?
one long
17?
dress. I was
Wow,
expecting
what?
like long dress
17,
after
Then wear long dress. Then wear
Long
long dress
dress?
over all that. All of that. Huh?
long dress.
That's the worst thing to tease men with. Like they think you're just pure, and then you see this sort of hooker boots underneath. Going, what the hell's going on there?
So I was dressed
Oh,
very weirdly.
classic.
And then, but it just, that whole experience working in that restaurant for about a year and a half, it just helped me overcome the stage fright and helped me overcome the just having a crowd lah. And also taught me how to deal with singing to an empty room. So, so that's actually just something to learn how to do, that how to change your mentality do not let it affect you, singing to an empty room.
Yeah.
So from there, started to do weddings, and then from there started to do private functions, and then started to have 1 or 2 shows in KL, and then coming to KL and doing those performances.
What was your
And
first
Ali
show in
Cats
KL?
was, I think it was in a black tie. Adil Johan invited me down to perform
Shout out to
with
Adil.
his band.
Adil is
shout out
also
Adil.
from Penang, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
He and my brother went to the same school.
Oh, pure nepotism then. That's all that is.
Yes, we all just yes.
Penang
So,
kaki.
What?
Oh, Penang.
So Adil invited me to perform with his band AJQ. So he had Terence Liu on piano, Steve Nanda on drums. That time Hiro Maekawa on bass, and then Adil was on sax, and then he had a few other guest artists. So I came up and I sang a few songs with him. And of course, I come from Penang. I did not know what a speakeasy was. So Nobrata isn't particularly a speakeasy, but there's no sign like that time, no big like.
Yeah.
So I walked past the place like a couple times before I found it. And then after watching me the first time, then Evelyn, who owns the Black Tie, said, okay, why don't you guys do another show together, more songs, which led to why doesn't she just do a show by herself, which of course I still told Adil to be part of.
You
Then,
needed someone to put a band together.
Yeah, I did not know
Yeah.
any musicians in KL.
Yeah.
And then they just started the ball rolling and then moved to KL, had enough contacts to do a few more performances. Then I met E. Jane to do an Alexis show.
All right. Cool.
And then, then you just meet everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
And
osmosis then.
And then
That's
it just,
not-
now here I am living in KL, living it up.
Dasha,
What?
what?
They're shouting.
Yeah.
Hey, Dasha! Hey, Dasha!
I can see you, Fabian. I can hear you.
What was it like? Because I'm just trying to understand this because I play music as well, but I do not come from a family that plays music. Like in fact, I was the first guy in the family to sort of pick up music and to play music and all that. But then you come from a musical family. Growing up, you must have seen your dad go out for shows, practicing and everything. And then eventually when you started performing as well, Alley Cats was already there and they had their own scene going, and you were doing your own stuff. So what was that like for you?
There was all sorts lah. I mean, okay, so when Alley Cats is still active and I was active at the same time, I was mostly in Penang. So when the whole Alley Cat thing came out, it became like, ooh, we got Alley Cat daughter to sing at our weddings. So that was always like the main sugar and the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
We got Alley Cat daughter. She can sing, don't care. We got Alley Cat daughter. Yeah, but the tough part happened when my dad passed away. That's when it got a bit more difficult because then people started to compare a lot more. They're like, we got Alley Cat daughter, can she sing like her father or not? Then got a few jabs here and there. Like there was one woman, one of his big fans. My father's big fan. She's like, you can sing, but you don't sound like your dad.
Oh wow.
It's like surprise woman.
Wow.
Surprise,
Wow.
yeah. Just another individual.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? It's like, yeah, you want to see can you see my hair? You realize I don't look like my dad. You realize we're different people? So yeah, I got some drunk people who be like, you will never be your father.
What?
Like, really?
Serious? Got like that?
What?
God, some lah. And this was in Penang, in a bar I was working at. This mabuk fella shouted at me, you will never be like your father. And I really want to be like, if I was my father, that would be super weird, right? If I was weirdly my own father and my own daughter.
Yeah, like some sort of clue.
Like what is that? So that sentence makes no sense. But the staff saw me lah, and they instantly, the bar boys were so sweet. They're like, you want us to spike his drink? We will spike his drink for you. What do you want us to do? Like, you want Long Island iced tea? We make for you Long Island iced tea. I was like, no, okay. But I was like so sakit hati lah.
Yeah.
Course.
So because to me it didn't make sense because I'm never trying to be my dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a thing.
True.
But it took a while for people to stop doing the whole like, we want to hire you because you're Elegant's daughter, and start seeing me as like you are an artist on your own or you're a musician.
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
your own. So now it's more like, oh, you know Dasha Logan, she's a singer. Like, yeah, I know her. It's like, oh, did you also know? Here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Then
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. That's where I am, and that's what I want. It wasn't something I was striving to be, but it's nice to be there, lah. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I tell
Yeah.
everybody, this is my tagline, lah. I'm not in my father's shadows. I share his spotlight. Dun, dun.
Nice one. That's a nice one.
Yeah, because
Cool.
for me, it's as long as people look at me and the word alley cat or Logan Arden pops up somewhere in the conversation, then job done, happy, you know.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but I've
So it
also
was-
you must have also been exposed to at a very early age to like all the amazing talents in Penang. I mean, I'm just gonna pride on some fucking Penang shit right now, lah. Okay, guys.
Oh, I hate this.
Yeah, because Penang was just so rich in music history. Come on, man. It's not just the Alley Cats. You had all these other guys who were there. Some of them are still around.
Mhm.
Uncle Ray is still around, and
Yeah.
what was that like? What was that experience like? Just to see, to be, to know all these people, and then eventually come to a stage where you are working with these people. Not because of your dad. Your dad lah. Alley Cats doing their own
Yeah.
stuff, but you are coming up on your own.
So in Penang, it was, let's see, there was Oceans of Fire, which is like Calvin Young and all that.
Correct, yeah.
So we all kind of, like, they were doing Asia, there was the Asia Beat competition, what was it called?
Yeah.
But they did that competition, they won, right? So they were
Yeah.
going that direction and writing original music, which to me was just so out there as an option. I was like, wow.
Correct. Yeah.
And then Uncle Ray also came by maybe 10 years later. So I did not know Uncle Ray. He was still in the States when I started performing. But there was a lot of artists like Ronaldo Scully.
Correct.
He
Uncle
was-
Franco was there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I was working with Tapa, and now Tapa's son is in KL doing stuff as well.
Okay,
And
Ignatius James.
who else is performing around that time? There was a few lah. But I was lucky because everybody I worked with were like uncles lah. So there was like
Yeah.
people who've been in the scene for a long time, like educating me. Like, Dasha, I gotta say, I've sung some really weird songs. I've even sung Lai Lai Katong. Lai Lai Katong.
Nice.
And also because people requested, I'm like, no lah, don't want to do. Then Frankie be like, no lah, Dasha, you must do these songs lah. So also like the mentor mentality from these uncles also came in. And they also, they were like, it's cool to work with Elika's daughter, but they just liked doing the gigs lah with me. Like, so that's why you go for singing lessons. That's what one of the musicians told me, go and take singing lessons. So he introduced me to this woman named Hui Li, and I went for singing lessons, but she was an operatic singer. So she started training me operatically. So all the warm-ups and everything, she's like, ooh. So yeah lah, so I was trained operatically, but singing jazz.
That's why you don't need a monitor. That's why you don't need a monitor.
But yeah, growing up with like all these musicians who, I think also my time though, Fabian, like my time, a lot of people were overseas. So the musicians that I worked with were either already seasoned musicians or very, very new. So I didn't get much, I didn't have much examples when I first started in the first year or two. There was Roz who was singing Bagan, who gave me a platform to work on as well. And we did some duets. So until today, we still work together. And I still learn whatever I need to learn lah from Roz, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And then there was the like I used to work in Bagan, right? So there was Mary Carlos and Roz, so, and everybody sang different things. So it made me realize song selection and how important that is and the time of the night and how to write a song list or a set list, which is something Alley Cats did super well. I used to watch my father sit down and write set list, right? I mean, when you write original music and record, it's such a different thing than doing it live. So live performances and recording is just completely different. But it's something where I'm very glad I started doing this young enough that now the set list arrangement is easier.
You know,
So I would not. Yeah, I know. I kind of can figure out where to place the songs and also knowing my own voice. So not enough warm-ups means start with a song that can help me with the warm-up.
plus you know how to read the room. You know how to read the room now.
Travel, it's still the crowd can still surprise me,
Mhm.
but just to be on the safe side, I will start with a super chill song,
Yeah.
and then I'll probably not sing like Janis Joplin till the end of the set lah. I'll save
Ah,
the screaming for the end.
yeah.
Unless you
True,
play
true,
with, unless it's John's song selection, then it's
Oh,
something
then I
crazy,
let John decide.
something crazy from day one.
true.
Because to me, like with John, it depends on how he wants to play the song at the day and time and space.
Yeah.
So he could either play really light or he might want to do a massive solo at the end, and I'll just let him make the call. So also, if I'm not the band leader, then I'll just be like, oh, suggest whatever he suggests. But so yeah, it's good to work. So working with in KL, for example, I have my own band or my own shows, and then I've got the shows with Michael Verpen, then I've got the shows with John Thomas, and I've got the shows with Ross and Puva,
Yeah.
and it's all very different shows, which I think can confuse the audience when they watch me. They don't know. I also don't know. Like, is Dasha a diva session kind of person? She a jazz singer? Is she ethnic singer? Or is she doing all the other stuff? So,
But they also can't pigeonhole you. I mean, she can do loads and loads of different varieties of music, which is good.
that's great. I mean, for now, I still question whether there's a double-edged sword, because then there isn't like a Dasha does this. If you want this, then get Dasha. Now it's like, let's get Dasha, just tell her what you want and then she'll do it. Just basically going, yeah, I probably could do that.
Oh,
So once this album comes out, I think that'll be a bit more, for me especially, a bit more like songs I might not want to do for the time being.
Yeah.
So
I
based
think it
on
was
the stuff that you,
set something.
based on the stuff you've recorded for your album, sorry, yes, man.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You know, when it overlaps like this, you gotta decide who goes first, and then just remember
Go.
you know,
Just do it, Fabian.
I yield.
Dasha.
Shouting.
Dasha.
based on
Keep
your
making fun of me, now, huh?
Brendan.
Hey,
Brendan.
I love shouting though. I love all this noise. Based on the songs that you have recorded, what is the sound like then? What is this Dasha sounding like?
I think in that sense, it's a bit more soul R&B-ish, I guess. Like, if you've heard of Emily King and Leon Bridges, it probably goes in
Leon
that
Bridges, oh my
direction.
god.
In that
Leon
direction-ish.
Bridges. Nice.
Because I'm more like, I focus a lot more on lyrics because I don't know how to play an instrument very well, so I cannot be like, here you need an A minus 7, 13.5. I wouldn't know. So I'd be like, so the lyrics is the where I focus on. So for me, I always look towards my writing mentors lah, which is like John Mayer, poet, Bruno Mars, poet, Adele, Alanis Morissette, Don McLean, Emily King, everyone else. So when they write, this is how I feel, and these are the only words that I can use. I cannot try to make it sound any prettier or any uglier than this.
No, but that's raw emotion then. You're not trying to smooth it out. It's just
as clean as possible.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
a lot
wait
of
for
my
the album now though.
so my writing process has always been one bottle of wine and me and my piano going tong tang tong tang tong tang. This sounds like
That's
the
nice.
song. Then my body
That's
got
nice.
then listen the next day. You're like, okay, this has potential or don't have potential lah.
Okay.
Nice. But I'm just imagining that your banter can be, because these are your songs, right? So I guess now your performances will be, I mean, like you could shape it the way you want it to be, because it's gonna be your stories. You're a storyteller too, because with the banter, right? You see that exciting? Yeah.
For me, it's like, okay, when I play when I let my friends hear the songs or when I play it for people to listen to, they take it differently. So the song for me could be about one thing, but they hear a different thing, which is great. It's like whatever you're feeling at the time, apply it to whatever, and that's fantastic lah. So I don't want to over-explain the songs to people as well. So, but because my lyrics are quite simple, also it's very straightforward. But so like for example, when I do a video, the video will be as like not vague lah, but just okay, this
open
is
lah. It's open lah. It's
very
open-ended.
yeah. So you can kind of interpret it whichever way you want, however you want.
Of course. Yeah.
So, but that's later times lah. So for now, I just want to get the songs out and hope people like it. So this album, basically, if people like it, great. If they don't like it, it doesn't matter to me.
It's yours
Like,
though.
It's like I'm at a point where I'm like, that's fine. You don't have to like it.
But it's yours.
Yeah.
Like you release something new into the universe, so that's a good thing.
So
okay,
if, like,
so I think we're coming to the end of the podcast.
Oh.
So usually usually
So
for
fast.
the
So fast.
we
It's
give
like
the
it's
Right,
Sure,
not very
one
quick,
summer
landing
lah,
already.
come on. It's
Like
a
thinking,
good time.
ending already. Yeah, good one, man. It's good.
Still
usually
got
we
more
give the
to go.
guest at the last minute just to say what's going on in the future. So Dasha, the last minute's all yours. What's going on now? And go.
And I don't know what to say. Okay. I mean, I guess to a lot of guests that you might have right now, the future is unknown, but it's looking decent. Like I think once things get back to normal, doing more live performances, I'm really looking forward to that. There are some things in store which I will probably be posting up online about live performances. This album, which will be done soon, and then already kind of thinking about album number 2, the Dasha Logan album number 2, and also some side projects. Like I really want to take some classic Alley Cat songs that are maybe not as popular and try to see if I can make it more like what's more acceptable and more hip.
Mm.
Okay, cool. That sounds
Now-
good. That sounds good.
So I really, because there's a lot of Alley Cat songs from the first 2 albums, right? Which is now what sounds good. You know, so
Yeah,
it's
I know
like,
what you mean.
you know how so that
Yeah.
Motown feel is coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah, got you.
So some of that, and then that's one project I want to do. And then there was another thing, can't remember what, but I feel like I haven't been listening to enough music out there. So listening to more local music. So I've been a bit more active there, and it turns out that more local radio stations are gonna start to be more active in that sense. Because I think like a couple of weeks ago there was it came out and they a specific radio station was getting a bit of a ketuking for not playing enough local music.
It's okay to talk
Funny you
about.
mentioned this because we had the producer.
We had Priya from had on a few weeks ago.
Oh,
We had
did
that-
you?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
So
know.
that's okay to
So-
talk about it. Like
So
we already had that
Yeah.
podcast.
yeah,
Always here. The waiting room.
And
The
people
waiting
could-
room's got it.
Yeah,
waiting room's got it.
we've
Where
got
did you
it.
hear it first? The waiting room.
Yeah.
Waiting room, leaving no stones unturned.
And,
Alright,
No
yeah,
stones,
right.
and people can see you live this Thursday coming in the B. That's the last
Yes!
show with John. Yeah.
Yes, so this
Nice.
Thursday is the last show with John at the B. I mean,
Okay.
tentatively, we don't know if it's going to get extended or not.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
Of course, it doesn't always get packed because we are there like Thursday at 8 to 11. It's a bit of might be a bit late time,
Yeah.
but so far no complaints of the timing. But we have a great time anyway, and they have spaced it out quite well for
Mhm.
SOP, and they've
Yeah.
access on the floor for people to stand. And there's an outside space as well where you can hear the performances. So that's happening this Thursday. If you guys want to pop by, we'll be there.
okay.
Yeah, let's do that lah. We all just go to mabuk.
Me? I mean, I cannot mabuk lah.
No lah, you cannot mabuk lah. We
I
will
don't
mabuk.
drink.
Why? You can drink a warm drink. You can drink your warm
Yeah.
drink. What?
Drink
I've
my
never-
hot tea.
No.
You know what
never
Dasha
said
is
you take
providing?
alcohol.
You know what Dasha is providing or not?
What's your wedding?
What's she providing? Tell.
Ah.
What am I providing?
Yeah.
Chewing gum lah, guys. Come on.
Oh, I
Hey,
see.
come on.
Kena gosok
This
gigi
show
lah.
is brought to you by Wrigley's.
Yeah.
Also, when was the last time you saw Wrigley's chewing gum lah? Now you cannot find Wrigley's
No.
chewing gum. It's hard to find.
Hey, got.
Yeah, you
No
don't
more
even
those ads on TV because they don't watch TV anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you don't see.
you don't even step on it when you get out of your car lah.
That's true. Miss those moments.
I
Huh?
think that's a
Yeah,
good
we
thing.
moments, man.
I think that's a good
Yeah, I
thing.
think that's a good thing. Yeah.
That's people they stop littering, so that's good.
Yeah, learn it.
Step out your car ni, oh bunda. Kena chewing.
So now we know who's spitting chewing gum lah.
Yeah.
No lah, we know lah.
Fabian. Good job lah.
Okay, folks, that's been episode number 8 of the Waiting Room podcast. I'd like to thank Dasha Logan for being our guest.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
I've been Derek Rush, our usual, Asmil Uner, Fabian Mark Peter, and Brendan the Cruz. Cheers, guys. Enjoy.
Good night. Cheers.